The big man said it himself. Ange Postecoglou said it himself. I always win in my second season. Tottenham have just beat Man United in the 2025 Europa League Final to win their first trophy in a 17-year drought and to win their first European trophy in over 60 years. Manchester United are in the absolute mud. They are finished. They are cooked. They are completely destroyed. This final has destroyed Manchester United and have elevated Tottenham in a season where everything looked lost. The manager looks like he's still going to get sacked, but this final has completely elevated Tottenham. They have won a trophy. The fans are happy, the players are happy, and Manchester United are in the mud. Now, I wanted to record this video as a little post-match reaction, as almost everyone thought that Manchester United were going to win this game. They were clearly the favorites coming into this game, as Tottenham never really win trophies, whereas Man United are one of the most decorated clubs in football history. In terms of the past and even in recent years, they have always been one of the biggest clubs in football. And in this game, I think a lot of people expected them to win. Even me myself, I predicted that Manchester United were going to win this game. I predicted 3-2, which would have been a much more entertaining game than what actually happened. Because Manchester United, especially in this Europa League campaign, have been scoring loads and loads of goals. We saw them put 5 past Real Sociedad in the round of 16. They put 7 past Lyon in that thrilling semi-final encounter. And they also put 7 past Athletic Club, who were originally arguably the favorites in this competition. Whereas Tottenham, they never really looked as convincing as Man United did, where in the round of 16, they barely scraped by against AZ Alkmaar. In the quarterfinals, they didn't perform that good against Frankfurt. Yes, they were better, but they still did end up drawing that first leg game. And against Bodo Glimt, obviously they were clearly dominant, but Bodo Glimt realistically were never going to test Tottenham like some of these other teams did. So for that reason, both of these teams in the knockout stages, Man United were clearly the better team and Tottenham were struggling. Game after game, they were struggling. And if you look at these teams in the Premier League, obviously they've both been struggling. But in recent games, it does look like Man United has been the better of the two teams. So in this game, a lot of people had Man United winning. And I know a lot of Man United fans who were confident that they were going to win this game. They had no doubt that Tottenham were going to win. But Tottenham ended up pulling off an incredible upset. They played a very, very strategic game that Rúben Amorim did not see coming. And even me, I did not see this coming from Tottenham, a team that generally plays with a high line, a team who has been conceding a decent amount of goals in recent games, played very defensive, they played park the bus, they played very counter-attacking football, and it paid off. It completely paid off. Manchester United did not look throughout this whole game that they were going to score a goal. Yes, they dominated possession. They had 80% possession compared to Tottenham's 20%, which is absolutely crazy, by the way, for a Europa League final. But they never really looked like they were going to score a goal. If you look at the stats, Manchester United had 16 total shots in the game, 6 on target, and 3 big chances. When on the other hand, Tottenham had 3 shots in total. They only had 3 shots, with 1 being on target. And the goal that they scored was technically an own goal. It was Luke Shaw's second own goal in their last 4 games. And that is the way that Tottenham won. They parked the bus, they defended well, they counterattacked Manchester United, and they scored from it. And Man United couldn't do anything on the attack. In the middle of that defense, Tottenham were very, very compact and very solid. Van de Ven and Romero were absolutely incredible playing as the 2 center backs. They were very, very good. And Man United were swinging cross after cross after cross, but no attacker was ever getting that final touch because it never got past Romero and Van de Ven. Never. Another thing for me is that I thought Man United could have brought out a better lineup. I didn't think Luke Shaw was the right person to start. I didn't think Højlund was ever really going to do anything. And I didn't think that their lineup as a whole was the best lineup they could have brought out. I think maybe Ugarte starting would have been better. I think maybe even if Xerxes or Garnacho was starting, they could have probably scored a goal. but I just never thought that the lineup they put out was the right lineup in this match. And especially with how we saw Tottenham play from the very start of the game, where they were playing very defensive and they were only really pushing forward on counter-attacking opportunities, I think Rúben Amorim should have probably made changes earlier on in the game, especially at the start of the second half after that goal that Tottenham scored at the end of the first half. I think they could have come out with changes right away, but obviously that didn't happen. And in my opinion, I think a lot of criticism has to be on Rúben Amorim, because I don't think he adapted good to what Ange Postecoglou put out there. I think Postecoglou played a very good game. I think his tactics were very boring, but they worked. They played exactly how he wanted to play. They got the goal and they parked the bus for the rest of the game. Now, for Man United, I think some of their players were very good. I think Dorgu was very good. I think Mazraoui was very good. Lenny Yoro also played pretty well. But Andre Onana, this guy, I don't even have words to describe his downfall, because when he was with Inter Milan, he was actually a pretty good goalkeeper. He played very, very good for that short time he had there. But at Manchester United, I don't know what happened to him. He looks nowhere near his current self. So my final thoughts on this game is that it was a very boring game. As a neutral fan, it was not a good final. But as a football fan, I saw the tactics that Ange brought out. I saw the way he wanted his team to play, and they executed that performance to a T. They were perfect. When Man United, on the other hand, could not adapt throughout the whole 90 minutes. They looked deflated, they looked defeated, and they never looked energetic. They looked like they came out preparing to lose. They never looked like they wanted to win. Whereas Tottenham, they were very defensive, but on the counterattacks, they played good. They made good use of them, and they ended up winning the game. Even though they had 0 shots in the second half, they still win that game. United could not put pressure on Tottenham. They could never get past their 2 center backs. And for that reason, Tottenham have now won a trophy in this horrible season, where Man United look like they have a lot of rebuilding to do. And in terms of Manchester United's future, I think this is going to make it much harder for them, because they are not going to get some of the players that they wanted to get. If they would have won this Europa League and they would have Champions League football next season, and they got the money from this competition, then I think this could have really saved their season. But now they have no European football next season. They didn't get any money really from this season, as they were poor in the Premier League and they lost the Europa League final. And they're not going to be able to sign the players that they wanted to sign. There's no way that Gyökeres is going to go to Man United knowing that they're playing no European football next year, knowing that there's all these problems with the club, and they didn't get any money from winning the Europa League. There's no way it's going to happen. So I think this is a really big setback for Man United. I think they're absolutely cooked for this summer. And in terms of Tottenham, congratulations to them, because they deserve it. They deserve their first trophy in 17 years, and they deserve to be European finalists and European champions. But that is the end for this video. If you guys enjoyed this sort of post-match reaction on the Europa League, I could do this for the Conference League, the Champions League, and for many other competitions as well. But obviously, if you did enjoy this video and you're enjoying the content, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.